Mr. Mittal, a lot is being said about the decision of the cabinet to recommend to the president's or central rule in Arunachal Pradesh. This comes as a huge embarrassment personally to the party.
No, you have to understand that this judgment has primarily dealt with the power of the governor to prepone the assembly. They have struck it down, and subsequent to that, all decisions which were taken have been struck down consequent to the act of the governor, which the Supreme Court has held to be unconstitutional.
So, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, what the Congress is saying is that the governor was acting as a stooge of the centre.
The Congress is at liberty to say anything. They are at liberty to even not to acknowledge the fact that 2/3 of their own MLAs have now merged with another political party, which is called the PPA. So there is only 15-member Congress which is there in the state, and a chief minister with only 15 members out of a house of 58, who's absolutely in minority. How would they justify it? I do not know.
All right, so let's go across to Jaiveer Shergill to get a sense of how the Congress is planning to keep its flock together. There are already rebels who have gone across and, merged with another party. Mr. Jaiveer Shergill, is the Congress a viable option in the state, even though the Supreme Court has restored the Nabam Tuki government?
After hearing the respected Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, I'm reminded of saying once bitten, twice shy. I'm surprised how BJP is now twice bitten and still not shy. But best of luck to them if they don't wake up to smell the coffee or the reality. Now,
Miss, I do not think you are all recollecting that in order to prove the majority, the Speaker had disqualified illegally 14 MLAs. On the ground of having voluntarily given up the membership. This was struck down by the High Court under instructions of the Supreme Court, and the membership has been restored, which my learned friend doesn't seem to be aware of. So who's been perpetrating illegality? Your own government, your own Speaker, who disqualified 14 of their own MLAs. So the issue is different. Today, as we stand, there is only 15-member Congress. There is a party called PPA in which the Congress has already merged. This is only a Congress group in Arunachal. This is not even a party in Arunachal. Now a 15-member Congress group is now saying they are rebels and they can lose their membership. How blatant a violation of Supreme Court of the Constitution are you threatening them with? The disqualification has already been set aside, sir. You are not aware of it. So please do not talk about illegalities.
But Mr. Mittal, the allegation is that the BJP, the allegation is that the BJP has been engineering these defections.
I appreciate the allegation because they do not want to acknowledge the fact that the Yuvraj Rahul Gandhi did not even meet people who were appalled by the style of functioning of Nabam Tuki. They camped in Delhi for 6 months. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not have time to meet them. So if you cannot manage your own flock, if there is disgruntledness because of maladministration, if you humiliate them by not even meeting the leaders, you are at fault, not us.
Jaiveer Shergill wants to come in. Jaiveer, what do you have to say at this point? These allegations coming in from the BJP.
Mr. Mittal, you're a very seasoned politician, but let me remind you of the law of this country. Eagerness to meddle in the affairs of the Congress, eagerness to take political jibes at Mr. Rahul Gandhi cannot lead you to humiliate the constitution of this country. Point number one. Point number two, presuming and conceding to your argument that there were disgruntlement within the Congress party, then you should have called for a floor test. The eagerness to impose for a president's rule, the eagerness to poke the governor, to bypass the constitution, shows your malicious intention to come into the assembly through back channels. The truth is, after Bihar and Delhi, you lost faith completely in the electoral process of this country. Now, I am hearing your cut, copy, paste arguments. I'm very sorry to say, all your spokespersons have the same argument. There is defection, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is not beating before the Uttarakhand rail test. What happened? BJP had an egg on its political face, and I'm sure that's going to be repeated. So today is the day which goes beyond Congress and BJP on larger democratic principles, that even if there are mismanagement or there are internal affairs of the party, the ruling government cannot bite the temptation to twist the constitution of this country to stamp
let's
their
get in a
authority.
word. Let's get in a word from Sudhanshu Mittal, who wants to come in at this point. Sudhanshu, also, you know, you can't deny the fact that after Uttarakhand, this doesn't come as an embarrassment to the central government at all.
You see, you have to understand that this is defining the powers of the governor. There was already a methodology which was in practice.
But Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, the governor gave his report. Ultimately, the centre recommends to the president central rule.
No. This judgment is not on that. This judgment is on the preponement of the session by the governor. And consequent to that action, all actions which have been taken have been declared to be null and void. So it's not that issue. The issue is whether the governor could direct the preponement of the assembly session or not. The Supreme Court has held that no, the governor cannot.
All right, we are really running out of time. Jerry Shergill wants to make a quick point. Jerry, I can't give you any more than 30 seconds.
The issue is, now what?
Now BJP is hypocrisy is yet again exposed. At that time, BJP was celebrating the governor's decision. Today, they are refusing to own up to the governor's decision because it exposes their modus operandi.
All right, you've made your point, Jerry Shergill. You know, we are really running out of time. So, Sudhanshu Mittal and Jerry Shergill.
We are saying the Supreme Court has defined what the governor can do.
Thank you.
The issue is simple. How would you prove your majority? Please tell me. When you are only 15.
At that time in December, Mr.
Are
Mittal,
you now going to subvert constitution and engineer a majority?
Should we replay the tapes?
Are
when
you
your
going to
party
subvert the
people were
constitution and
celebrating
now
how the
engineer a
governor
majority?
acted and behaved
Where you are
in
only
bypass
15
of
in
the
the assembly.
constitution? High time you respect.
So
don't
forget
get a
that.
heartburn.
Now what are you going to do?
Respect the decision.
Are you now going to do buying and selling of MLS like what Mr. Harish Rawat did?
Rather than justifying your arm twisting of the constitution and hunger of power. The nation is still watching you. That how BJP
I am asking you now, when you are in minority with only 15 MLAs, what are you going to do?
Once bitten,
are you
twice
going to
shy,
subvert
sir.
democracy?
In 3 months, you have been twice bitten by the law of this country. In 3 months, you have been bitten twice by the law of this country.
The law has only
prevailed over you.
What are the powers of the governor? We have not been bitten. Sorry, I reject your aversion.
Which you wanted to subvert, Mr. Mittal. Which you wanted to subvert.
Saying that the governor cannot ask for the session to be held on a
merely with due respect as puppets of the Bharatiya Janata Party to satisfy your political
you have two
appetite.
Governors who are your former chief ministers. You have Mr. J.B. Patnaik and you have Mr. S.C. Jamir, who are Congress chief ministers.
Mr. Mittal, all your allies are also happy with this decision. Shiv Sena is against you. Why is BJP so isolated in this fight?
So forget, we are talking about democracy, we are talking about country, we are talking about constitution.
Is allies
and now we are talking about how are you going to prove your majority?
Bulldoze approach.
All right, you know, Sudhanshu Mittal is asking a very valid question, Jerry Shergill. How will you manage in minority there in Arunachal Pradesh?
You're 15 out of 58.
Mr. Mittal, as the judgment Supreme Court says, sir, have some patience. The majority has to be proved on the floor and not on the lawns of Raj. We know how many horses' legs you crushed in Uttarakhand and how much horse trading you attempted to do. That's a separate thing. Now we will prove a majority on the floor if it comes to that.
So your chief minister was caught on camera offering money. The first time ever in the history of India.
Congress will form a stable government in Arunachal.
And you
we are confident. I am not jumping the gun or giving astrological predictions sitting with Mr. Mittal here.
All right, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal
secondly,
also.
I want to ask Mr. Mittal if he is so justified.
When are they going to have the floor test?
I want to ask him one question. Sorry.
All right, we seem to have lost our link there with Jaiveer Shergill. Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, I want to ask you one question. You know, there is an allegation, and a very serious one, by the Congress party that you all are engineering defections. Do you promise that this time around no such mischief will be carried out in Arunachal Pradesh?
You have to understand that there is a party called PPA which is in majority and which is in the majority. Now the defection can only take place by the Congress. There is a question of us trying to engineer a defection. Congress has to make defection in PPA to ensure that they win. Now the ethics and now the constitutionality and the legality will be a test. And you just heard Mr. Shergill threatening that they will lose their membership. How blatant misuse or the abuse of constitution is he threatening for people to now support them? I am amazed. It is time that you should have please take cognizance of how they want to bulldoze to prove their majority.
Jaiveer Shergill is back with us. In fact, go ahead, Jaiveer, because Sudhanshu Mittal is saying you are threatening the other members of the assembly.
The question of bulldozing, threatening are the trump cards of Bharatiya Janata Party. We will form the government within the parameters, within the garima of the constitution of this country. Point number one. Point number two, I want to make a point. If BJP is so right in its fight against the democracy, why are their own allies not supporting them? Number three, during court, and Mr. Kapil Sibal has said, we said there is a tape which says a businessman conversation regarding usage of money by Bharatiya Janata Party in forming the government in Arunachal Pradesh. We are demanding even that tape should be probed. So the time will tell who's lying and who's speaking the truth. So the ill method, the malicious methods, the back channel tracking, we have seen in Uttarakhand, we have seen in Arunachal. We know they wanted to make an attempt in money. Sir, why are you getting a hard one, Mr. Mittal? I know you're upset. But democracy is smiling.
All right, Sudhanshu Mittal and Jaiveer Shergill, I'll have to interrupt both of you people there because we're getting some breaking news. Sir, I'll come back to you. We're getting some breaking news.